Hi everybody, Dr. Jen here. This month at the Umbrella Project, we're talking all about mindfulness and how you can bring mindfulness into your home and parent with mindfulness to create a better experience for you and your kids and to help teach your kids this really important skill. So today, my tip for parenting from a mindful perspective is to try not to allow your emotional state to dictate the consequences or discipline that you give your children. We know kids respond better when they can consistently predict what's going to happen when they behave in certain ways. So when we parent from a place of anger or frustration, which are very normal parenting feelings that come up for all of us at times, it's not easy to raise kids. And a lot of times, kids actually become the rain in our lives. They really know how to push our buttons and add stress to our day instead of, taking away from it. So what do we do when that happens? How do we stop ourselves from parenting according to our mood? So one day, we're feeling great and we let something slide, and the next day, that same thing, we're having a rough day and we lose our temper and it becomes a big deal in our house and a huge point of discipline. This is confusing for a child's brain and is difficult for them to learn how to be mindful if we're not doing that ourselves. So what I recommend is trying to put a little bit of space between your emotional reaction to your child and the discipline or consequence that you're giving them for a behavior. So that might mean walking away for a few minutes, telling your kids you need a minute to compose yourself and think. That might mean a few deep breaths before you give them a consequence for their action. Or that might mean starting to train yourself to earlier in the experience recognize that you're feeling angry or frustrated and calm the conversation down at that point instead of letting it build to a point where you're almost unable not to react from that place of anger. Try to control that emotional reaction in terms of the outcome of that experience, and that will help your children watch what it looks like to feel a big feeling, calm yourself down, and still do the right thing at the end of that outcome. Not let that emotion dictate how you're going to react, but observe that emotion and then react in a way that aligns with your bigger goals and values and not just the emotional whim of that moment.